Hey, Bears fans, it's that time again where we break down everything you need to know heading into this huge matchup with the Green Bay Packers. The excitement is building, the rivalry is heating up, and this game is shaping up to be one of the most critical showdowns for the Chicago Bears this season. Right now, the situation is fluid, and there's been a lot of back and forth on who holds the edge. At the moment, the Bears are slightly favored, but as we've seen throughout the week, these numbers can shift quickly. It's been a tug of war, flipping from Packers -1.5 to Bears -1.5, showing just how close and unpredictable this matchup is. For fans who are keeping score, the over-under for this clash is set at 46.5 points, indicating that we're likely in for a competitive, high-stakes contest where every drive, every play, and every personnel decision matters. Injuries, as always, are a huge factor, and right now there are several key names to monitor. We haven't received the official injury report yet, but updates could come later from the coaching staff. Roma is a major question mark heading into this game. DJ Moore had some contact late in the last contest, and while he returned to action, his status remains uncertain. Aussie Trapillo dealt with knee and quadriceps issues and was limited in practice last week, and his availability could have a big impact on the offensive line. Theo didn't look sharp in pass protection, and that has raised some concerns. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, unfortunately, is dealing with a serious concussion, which dramatically reduces his chances of being on the field this week, given the short turnaround and the rigorous steps involved in clearing protocol. Kyler Gordon and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka are also in concussion protocols, and while there's hope they'll play, the Bears secondary could see significant rotation depending on their recovery. If Gordon is out, players like Nick Mloud or Josh Blackwell might see snaps in the nickel, and there's also the possibility of Tyreek Stevenson stepping up. All of these moving pieces will shape how the Bears approach both defense and special teams this week. Over on the Packers side, injuries are equally concerning. Josh Jacobs has been battling nagging issues, but is expected to play, while Dantavian Wicks was held out recently. Savon Williams has missed time, and Bo Melton sustained an injury in the most recent game, as did Javon Bullard with a knee concern. Zach Tom has also been inconsistent in his availability. Bullard's knee injury is one of the big things to watch, given his role in the Packers' nickel package all season. Injuries like these can impact rotations and force both teams to adjust strategies on the fly, making preparation a challenge for the coaches. When it comes to evaluating who has the edge in this game, there's no simple answer. The head coaching matchup is intriguing. Ben Johnson is in his first year, and while Matt LaFleur has more experience, both coaches have demonstrated skill in play calling and leadership. It's hard to definitively say who has the advantage, but the winner of this game could shape perceptions heading into next season. The quarterback battle is equally fascinating. Jordan Love, entering his third year as a starter, has put up impressive numbers and shown accuracy, but Caleb Williams has demonstrated durability and explosiveness throughout the season. Both players are capable of top-tier performances, and the winner here could set the tone for quarterback rankings and expectations going into the next campaign. Looking at the Bears' offense, if Roma plays, the running game could be a major factor. Both of Chicago's running backs, particularly Swift, have been performing well, and Cole Cat adds additional depth. The offensive line, especially if Aussie Trapillo is back, provides stability and the potential to establish a balanced attack. Theo has struggled in pass protection at times, and while he's effective in run blocking, having Trapillo healthy is crucial to maintain offensive efficiency. The Packers' offensive line is solid but not dominant, and the uncertainty around Zach Tom could create openings for Chicago's defense to exploit. Defensively, the Bears have areas of concern. The defensive line without Micah Parsons and Devontae Wyatt isn't dominant, and while the Bears hope to hold their own, the edge may still lean slightly toward Green Bay. Linebacker play is mixed, with T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmunds appearing less sharp than expected, and Quay Walker has been inconsistent on the other side. The Bears' secondary has struggled recently, with some corners looking slow or unwell, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson's injury only compounds that problem. While Kevin Byard continues to perform at a high level, The overall back end of the defense has not met expectations, which makes matchups against receivers like Christian Watson particularly dangerous. Zone coverage adjustments and smart situational play will be critical for Chicago to contain the Packers' passing attack. Special teams, however, is an area where the Bears hold a clear advantage. Consistency from Richard Hightower has transformed the kicking game into a reliable component, and Cairo has provided stability in returns. While there are minor concerns like punt execution from Torrey Taylor, overall, the Bears' special teams give them an edge over Green Bay in terms of field position and momentum management. Offensively, one of the most pressing issues is getting out to a fast start. In several recent games, the Bears have struggled to score in the first half, often putting themselves behind in time of possession. Against Detroit, the first half was particularly concerning, as the Bears were unable to generate significant points despite moving the ball. Sustaining drives, balancing run and pass, and putting at least 10 points on the board early will be essential to give the defense a chance to rest and make plays. The team needs to return to a strong, downhill running game to set up play action and maintain offensive balance. While the passing game has been impressive, over-reliance on it without establishing the ground attack puts too much pressure on a struggling defense. Long, control drives are key to managing the clock and keeping the Bears competitive throughout the game. The defense must also be mindful of the middle of the field, which has been vulnerable in past matchups. Man coverage has allowed opponents to exploit seams and crossing routes, and with a faster, more precise Packers offense, Chicago needs to consider more zone coverage schemes to disrupt timing and prevent big plays. The Bears' personnel limitations require strategic deployment to minimize mismatches and maintain a presence in the critical areas of the field. Linebackers and corners alike must be disciplined, aware, and ready to adjust on the fly to compensate for speed and health disparities. Ultimately, the theme of this game for Chicago is seizing the opportunity. Beating the Packers not only keeps the Bears' playoff hopes alive, it also sends a message about the rivalry. In recent seasons, victories against Green Bay have been elusive, but the Bears have shown significant improvement, now splitting recent matchups evenly. Winning this game at home could provide a psychological edge, establishing Chicago as a legitimate contender in this rivalry and giving the team confidence heading into future encounters. The coaching staff, led by Ben Johnson, must instill the mindset that this is their time, their moment, and their chance to redefine the narrative against a long dominant opponent. The stakes are high, the excitement is palpable, and every play will count as the Bears look to assert themselves and build momentum for the remainder of the season. As we dive deeper into this matchup, it's impossible to ignore the momentum swings that could define the game. Both teams have their strengths and weaknesses, but the Bears have a unique chance to assert dominance in areas where they've struggled in recent weeks. Time of possession has been a glaring issue, with Chicago often surrendering the clock to opponents and forcing the defense to endure extended series. If the Bears can control the ball early, establish consistent drives, and convert critical third downs, they can mitigate the pressure on a secondary that has shown vulnerabilities. The first quarter performance will be a critical indicator. In recent games, Chicago has struggled to generate points early, often falling behind and playing catch-up. Against a team like Green Bay, that kind of slow start is a recipe for disaster. The Bears must find a way to jumpstart the offense immediately, balancing quick strike plays with sustained drives that keep the defense fresh and the Packers off the field. Running the football effectively is central to this plan. While the passing game has been impressive, relying too heavily on it can expose the Bears' defense to fatigue and leave the offense predictable. Swift and his counterpart need to consistently move the chains, creating opportunities for play-action passes and big plays downfield. The offensive line, with Trapillo healthy, provides a platform for sustained success, but every player must execute at a high level. Theo's struggles in pass protection have been concerning, so shoring up the line is essential. Maintaining a balanced attack will not only keep the Packers guessing, but also protect the Bears' key skill players from overexertion. When the ground game clicks, it opens up the field for explosive plays and forces Green Bay to defend all areas of the field, which is exactly what Chicago needs to gain an edge in a close matchup. Defensively, the Bears face a nuanced challenge. The Packers' offense has multiple threats, from short passing routes to vertical threats, and the Bears must adapt quickly. The middle of the field has been exploited in recent contests, and man coverage alone will not suffice against receivers who can exploit mismatches with precise route combinations. Linebackers must read plays effectively. Corners must maintain tight leverage without overcommitting, and the safeties need to provide timely support and coverage while remaining disciplined against play action. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's absence will be felt, but the Bears have depth that can step up if schemed correctly. The key will be forcing the Packers into difficult situations on third down, generating at least a couple of takeaways, and avoiding long, sustained drives that allow Green Bay to dominate possession. Turnovers could swing the game, and situational defense must be a priority, particularly in critical red zone and third down scenarios. Special teams could be a silent hero for the Bears in this contest. The kicking game has improved dramatically, and field position will be critical in a matchup where small margins can determine the outcome. Kickoff coverage, punt execution, and return decisions will all have amplified significance in a close game. If the Bears can consistently win these hidden battles, they can tilt the field in their favor and create opportunities for momentum-shifting plays. Every yard gained or lost in special teams can have cascading effects on both offensive and defensive strategy, making this unit an understated but pivotal component of the game plan. The quarterback duel between Caleb Williams and Jordan Love will likely define the narrative of the game. Both have contrasting styles, and each possesses the ability to make game-changing plays. Williams has been durable and explosive, while Love has shown precision and efficiency. The winner of this battle not only influences the outcome of this single contest, but also shapes perceptions of quarterback hierarchy within the league. For Chicago, Williams' performance will be tied to how well the offensive line performs, how effectively the running game is integrated, and how quickly he can read Green Bay's defensive schemes. Conversely, Love's performance will test Chicago's defense in the deep and intermediate passing lanes, forcing linebackers and corners into rapid reaction and disciplined coverage. The ebb and flow of this duel could create dramatic swings in momentum, with every incompletion, scramble, or touchdown magnifying the pressure on both teams. Execution in key areas will determine the outcome. On offense, sustaining drives, controlling the clock, and minimizing errors are critical. On defense, situational awareness, disciplined coverage, and opportunistic playmaking must be emphasized. Special teams, often overlooked, can provide the subtle advantages that tip the scales in a tightly contested matchup. Balancing these three phases will be essential for Chicago to seize victory. The margin for error is slim, and every decision, from play calling to personnel deployment, carries heightened importance. Coaches must be strategic, adaptive, and bold, knowing that each choice could directly impact the final result. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The words attributed to DJ Moore have echoed through league circles and lit up the rumor mill around the Bears. If he comes, it's because they don't need me here, the wide receiver reportedly said, a line that sounds less like a complaint and more like a warning wrapped in frustration. In an organization searching for identity and balance, that single sentence has been enough to spark speculation about looming roster moves and shifting priorities inside the front office. Around the league, executives and scouts are reading between the lines. Moore has been one of the most reliable pieces in Chicago's offense, a player whose production and presence have often masked deeper structural issues. When a veteran receiver hints that a potential arrival could signal his own expendability, it raises questions about communication between management and locker room leaders. Is Chicago preparing to chase another high-profile pass catcher? Or is this about a bigger philosophical shift, one that could see Moore's role diminished in favor of a different offensive vision? Sources close to the situation suggest the Bears are monitoring the market closely, aware that a splashy addition would excite fans but could unsettle established contributors. Moore's comment can be interpreted as a reflection of that tension. Rather than lobbying publicly for assurances, he seems to be acknowledging the business side of the sport, where loyalty often bends under the weight of opportunity and cap strategy. What makes the situation intriguing is that no move has been announced, no deal confirmed, and yet the narrative has already taken shape. Rumors thrive in these gaps, and Moore's words have created one large enough for every theory imaginable. Some believe it's a calculated message to management. Others see it as an honest expression of uncertainty from a player who understands how quickly plans can change. For now, the Bears remain silent, and that silence only amplifies the speculation. In a league where perception often precedes reality, a single quote has turned into a question mark hovering over Chicago's receiving room. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.